opportunities that can help create that long-term wealth is what we're looking for. Because our goal is not only for my children to be taken care of, but my children's children.
And that's what we have to
be taken
get to.
care of.
That's the ultimate goal. You know, entrepreneurship is more than just, hey, I want to create a job that I can work my way out of, so I don't have to work with these people that I can't stand because they get on my nerves.
Which could be a motivation.
It can be a powerful motivation.
Yes.
But it's also a means of creating wealth. And then, you know, I learned something one time working on a job. This young lady had taken this job, this particular job, as a means of, I'm going to do this job, but my dream job, I did not get the first time I tried for it. So I'm going to work this job. And she was able, it was commission based. Okay. And so I would notice, and she was the youngest sales rep in the office. She was like 26. When she had a high month where her commissions was just, you know, hey, just through the roof, she'd be like, okay, I'm going to go pay my car note up 6 months.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to go and pay, because she didn't believe in debt. And she was the first person that I had heard of that said, I don't believe in debt. Yeah. So I watched this young lady go from, she said her parents had a education fund set up for her, but she had gotten a scholarship.
So she didn't need it.
So when she decided to get married, she said, well, I'm going to use some of that money as a down payment for our home that we're building from the ground up. And then I'll use some of that money to help pay off my husband's student loans.
Awesome.
So I said, okay. So she, like I said, when things were high for her, she took a portion of that money. Let me pay these bills up. So when in low season come and we're not doing that well, I'm not around here struggling or complaining or, you know, as I seen some of our coworkers do, they come to work, they got an attitude with everybody because they're not selling as much and they did not prepare. And these are people that were in their 40s.
Wow. Well, and you know, age doesn't matter. So you have to decide when to make a conscious decision that you're going to be responsible with those funds in entrepreneurship. I know people that the moment they hit that big money, they want to go on a cruise. We're going to throw this party. We're going to have all this alcohol and all of this stuff, food, and we just want people to come. And there's nothing wrong with that. But do understand that at some point, you're not going to have that extra cash in entrepreneurship. And so you have to be willing to either sacrifice a little bit of those extravagant moments to prepare for those low moments, or you're going to have to work really hard to get out of those low moments, trying to meet those bills.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break right here. We're going to be right back with more with Kristi July on the Color Outside the Box podcast. Stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? Trey here to tell you about one of the best gym experiences in Mobile, Embrace Fitness Training Center. Embrace Fitness is more than just a gym. We offer personal training, speed and agility training, golf simulator, golf fitness, boot camp classes, child care, and even powerlifting. We're open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We love families, and kids are welcome. At Embrace Fitness, we believe that a family that works out together will stay together and live healthier and happier lives. So embrace the new you. We're located on Airport Boulevard near Cody Road. Try Embrace Fitness Training Center today. Your first visit is on me.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot. And we're back on the Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller, and our very special guest, Miss Kristi July. So right before we went to break, we were talking about saving and preparing for the low seasons. Because as you know, as an entrepreneur, you'll have those really great moments where you have a rake and you're raking it in. Yes. And then you have those moments where it's like, Why ain't nobody calling?
Yes.
Why ain't getting no emails? So you were talking about preparing.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were on break, I was talking about, the ability to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable, meaning you can be in a low season, but yet be satisfied.
Exactly.
And that falls in line with what you were saying about, making sure you're setting aside a certain portion of the money for savings for those low seasons. When you get to the point where you're like, okay, not every dollar is going back into my pocket, but you're able to put money back into the business. Because sometimes, when you start, most entrepreneurs don't quit their job and say, I'm going to start a business tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's usually some capital. Whether it's working capital, they're currently working their current 9 to 5, and then they get to a point where the 9 to 5 where the side hustle is producing more than the 9 to 5.
Yes.
So you can get to a point where you can say, okay, well, I know I just closed this big account, but I'm not going to the Super Bowl with that money.
No, because your Super Bowl is coming, though.
Yes.
You're going to have that Super Bowl moment. And I know a few entrepreneurs that was the case. Their side hustle started bringing in enough revenue that they were able to quit their 9 to 5, which was great for them. And a lot of times when you can, and that's also if that's your goal for that side hustle to become your full-time job, when you quit that 9 to 5, being able to have you there full-time brings in even more revenue for you. But also knowing your business well enough and growing in that, because when you start, you don't know. You think you know, but you don't quite fully understand and grasp the seasons of your business, or you may not think that your business has seasons yet, but every business does. So learning when those ebbs and flows come, and then being able to prepare for those in the onset will be beneficial to you in the long run, so that you can be comfortable while you're uncomfortable. So that's what we strive constantly to work on. We talked about me being big into logistics and numbers, and I like to see yearly plans and how things happen and data and all of that fun stuff. You don't look like that's fun, but it's fun to me. So looking at that, I think entrepreneurs do need to at least invest a little bit of time to see, when do I do really well? When do I start scaling off a bit? And when do I ramp up again? And figuring out what would be helpful to help when those times are lower. So whether that be, do we need to create a different revenue stream that can come in, that can offset those times? Or is it that we just don't market then, or don't know who our audience is at that particular time? So trying to figure out what adjustments need to be made while you're in the peak season, while you're saving money for those slow seasons, while you're doing all of that, hopefully it will start to minimize and flatten out those low times.
One of the things that I want to bring out too is that Kristi recently participated in a program, and I had an opportunity to sit in on the final contest of the program, where everyone presented their business and where they project their business to go and how much their growth is going to be, and where they are currently. And Kristi had the most incredible pitch.
Thank you.
She actually won the grand prize. And I sat there and I was like, everybody said they're going to have 30% growth over the next few years. No, Kristi presented real numbers.
Well, that's a part of who I am. Yeah.
And not saying, and sometimes it's they don't know the market well enough, or they don't project. When it came down to saying, what would you do with the prize? Because the prize had to go towards your business. I'm gonna hire some more people and I'm gonna do marketing. Yeah. Okay. How much you going to spend on marketing? Yeah. How much you going to spend on hiring people? But when Kristi, broke down her plan, again, she used real numbers. And so congratulations on winning that contest. Thank you. Everything that she's telling us, she actually knows what she's talking about, because she implements it on a daily basis. And when she talks about logistics, you ought to see her eyes just light up.
I love it. No, thank you so much. But that was one of those uncomfortable moments that you talked about. about, that entire process. And I would encourage anyone that has a side business or is looking to open a business to go through an experience similar to that. I constantly seek feedback from people that are either entrepreneurs or know something about finance or marketing or whatever it is, so that I can grow my mindset as well and my skill set, but also that hopefully I can make a better product. But I'm uncomfortable with all of that. But what you saw was the product of me being uncomfortable for 8 weeks. And out of that, I was able to gain more clarity on my business, my customers. And it really doesn't matter how long you've been in business. I've spoken to people that have been in business for 35 years, and they're just now getting to the point where they're realizing, oh, wait, I need to start thinking about who my actual customers are so that I can start marketing to them. Because entrepreneurship is changing.
Yes.
Marketing is changing. Business to business relationships, which is mostly what my company is focusing on at this point, that's different from what it used to be in the 90s, even early 2000s.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, let's not even get into that part.
Well, I know you know all about that.
And you have to be abreast of what competition is, because, I had a conversation with a young lady. She and I are going to be working on a particular campaign together. Now, she's working with a major company. And so she and I were conversing, and I was telling her how the market, this area is so saturated. Everybody wants to sell SEO, SEM. Everybody wants to say that they do marketing. The market has really become saturated. She was like, well, how do you break out of that? And I said, well, praise God, all my business is word of mouth. And I stay busy. So if you produce a quality product and you try to put forth the best customer service and professionalism that you can, the word will get out with no marketing. I don't advertise on TV. I'm trying to do a better job by keeping up my own social media because I'm busy keeping up everybody else's. But, you have to get to the point where you have to really study the landscape, the area. Maybe if the market is too saturated, maybe you need to look toward, another city. And that's one of the things that she said has been successful for her is because the area that she's given to work is this area. But there are so many people that are offering similar services that she's offering that she said, okay, let me go to Mississippi and look over here. And, and she's been able to make 6 figures. Working this area in Mississippi alone. And it's not even the whole Mississippi. I think it's like 2 cities. In Mississippi.
That's great.
So, you may have to take a look, because sometimes we think, okay, I'm the only one. I am the graphic designer of this area and all work come to me. No, it doesn't work that way.
No. There's a lot of people that think just like you. But I think what you said is huge. Aside from knowing who your customers are, you do need to know your competition. And before you put thousands of dollars into your business and you're spending all of this money and you're not seeing a return, it's helpful to know those 2 things. Who your competition is and what they're offering, what their prices look like, but also knowing who you want to have as your customers. And so that you spend your money as wisely as possible with targeting those people. How do they receive information and decide who they will purchase with? And I think that's the biggest piece of entrepreneurship, understanding that you need to understand who you're trying to service, because we're all here trying to help solve a problem.
And let me throw this in, because we're actually way a few minutes over.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's fine, because we can do that. And knowing who your customer is, also know what sets you apart from your competition. And knowing who your competition is. I'm going to give you a case in point. I do photography. Am I the best photographer? No. Do I have an eye? Yeah. But there are other photographers in this area who have better cameras, who have better setups, meaning that they may have an actual studio, not a room.
Gotcha. That's okay.
They have an actual studio with the proper flashes and all of that good stuff, and that's great. And that's why they're able to charge what they charge. And I say, okay, well, I don't have a $5,000 camera setup. I don't have a $10,000 backdrop or anything like that. But what I have is my $1,200 camera.
Yeah.
I have an eye. Mm-hmm. And I know that my little area back there is really not set up for actual